Hi friends, welcome back to my channel for another video. I hope you guys are doing well. Today I am going to be sharing with you guys my family read alouds slash morning basket, morning cart books for the upcoming homeschool year. Now, I am going to tell you right now that I know I will add books to this as the year goes on, but this is what I have now. This is what I am starting with, and I am leaving space for interest to strike, topics, conversations that lead us to other books to add into this. So if you're unfamiliar with morning basket or family style homeschooling, take a look around my YouTube channel. I have a lot of videos that will help you see how this works and how I actually put it into action. But for reference, next year I will have a 9th grader, an 8th grader, a 6th grader, and a 4th grader. And all of these books will be books that we read together as a family in the morning time, in addition to doing all of our other subjects. I will link as many of these as I can down below. I did get them a variety of places, and I'll link where I got them. So these books will be going into my morning cart once I set it all up for the next homeschool year. I won't be reading every single book all at one time. As you will see, I will rotate them in and out as we finish them. But this is my stack. It's about up to here next to me, so I am just gonna start going through it. This book is called The Secret of Handling Money God's Way, and I actually picked this up at a used curriculum sale quite a few years ago, and it sat on my shelf for a while. On the back it says ages 8 to 12. However, I definitely think you could use this with older kids as well. I was able to find a newer version of this on Amazon, so I was really excited, so that way I could link it for you guys. But I plan to basically use these pages right here as conversation points. For example, like this one says, how do you think you can learn to give cheerfully and from a heart filled with love? And so it talks about giving, it talks about money management, being honest in the small things. There's just a lot of, like right here, how does the dictionary define debt? So I just think that this will be a great topic to teach with my kids. I'll do a couple pages a day, and I'm really excited about it. I like that it is, it can work for a wide age range. So this will be a book that we are working together in morning basket, morning time in our homeschool. Now, the next few books are going to be read alouds that I will be reading aloud. I have a whole stack here of the missionary stories from YWAM Publishing. So we are gonna read Jonathan Goforth, David Livingstone, Cameron Townsend, and Betty Green. These are the ones that I have here. I've read Christian Heroes Then and Now books to my kids since I very first started homeschooling. It's one of the only things that I did from day one of homeschooling that I still do to this day. These have been some of our favorite books we've ever read in our homeschool. They are so inspiring, and I think really make kids see what true discipleship can look like, and they've just really been very impactful. So these will be the 4 that we read through this year. The next few books I have to show you guys are read alouds that will be tying in with our history this year. So the history curriculum that I use has a read aloud option for every unit. The history course is broken down into 4 units. However, you will notice that I only have 2 historical read alouds, and that's because I want to see what sparks our interest in the other areas, and then I will find a book that is talking about whatever that might be in that time period. So the ones I have selected so far are The Story of Eli Whitney. This is a level 7 book from the Good and the Beautiful library. And then this one is Son of Charlemagne by Barbara Willard. And this was recommended on the recommended list for the Good and the Beautiful History Year 4. It was one of the options. So this will be another read aloud that I do with my kids. Now, the next few that I have here are actually No, I actually have a few more. I'm sorry. So this one also, Lady Cake Farm, is from the Good and the Beautiful library, and this also will go with our history. So I actually have 4. I lied. I thought I only got 2. Looks like I got 1 for every unit. And then the last one is called The Smuggler's Flame. So these are our 4 historical read-alouds, 1 for each time period, each unit of history we're studying, which is on a different time period. The next book I have to show you guys, I ordered this from Master Books. This is called Adventures of Missionary Heroism. And I don't know for sure if I will get through it because I have all those other missionary stories. But these are biographies and autobiographies, and I liked that it was a bunch of different ones in here. So we'll see if I get around to reading it this year, but if I don't, I'll have it for next year, but it's on my list to read this year as well. I have a few books here that are going to go with our science studies this year. And the first one are these birds. This one is the story of John Audubon, and I will read that when we are doing our bird science unit. And then this is also the nature reader of birds, and I will be reading that when we focus on that unit. I already had this book, Marvels of Creation, Breathtaking Birds, on my shelf. This is from Master Books. I already had it. And so I was really excited about that because now I have 3 read-alouds to be doing when we do our birds unit. So I will have these that I read to my kids as well when we are doing that specific science unit. Now these are all picture type books right here that came from the Good and the Beautiful, and they correlate with our science. So when we are on our energy unit, I have the energy question and book of answers. When we're on our water unit, I have the water book of answers. I have this one called The World Beneath My Feet. This is a picture book called The Spark, and I will read that when we are doing our energy unit. The Amazing Mind of Granville Woods, and we have this one here that I'll be reading. Waterfalls of the World is another picture book. Famous Floods. Plant Hunters, we actually read this one, but I'll probably read it again. And then Rocks and Minerals Study when we do geology. Now, these are not just very simple picture books. These are actually pretty detailed, as you can see here. So these will all be books that I bring into my morning basket when we are on that particular science unit, and we will get through all of these books there. So that is taking care of the science readers, and then this whole stack was our read-alouds for the missionary stories, and then these are our history read-alouds as well. Now, I didn't choose any other chapter book read-alouds because, like I said, I want to wait and see what books my kids want me to read to them. Sometimes we go off on like, let's read all those books, or, you know, and I just wanted to leave space for that. So I'm not sure what other read-alouds we'll be doing next year, but those ones for sure. In addition to that, I have this book called Good Pictures, Bad Pictures. I know a lot of you have heard about this, but this just talks about pornography and the bad effects that it has on children. And so I highly recommend this book for all ages. And so we're gonna read through that in our morning time together. And now the rest of the books that I have here to show you guys are Bible books that we'll be reading as a part of our family Bible time in the morning. And I've been asked, when I do books like this, do I ever read the actual Bible with my kids? The answer is yes. All of these books reference scripture, and so we'll go and look up the scriptures when they reach that point. I did purchase this book called The Ology. This says Deep Truth Simply Told. My friend highly recommended this, and I'm really excited to just read about a page or two of this a day. I'm really excited about that. So we have that book there. Then the rest of these Bible books came from Master Books. So we have If Animals Could Talk, Creation Speak for Itself, Great for God, Missionaries Who Changed the World, So noted. The Genesis commentary by Dr. Henry Morris in the King James Version. And so this is a pretty in-depth, meaty study about Genesis. So I'm excited about that. We have this one called Bible Brainstorms, Word Games and Puzzles from the Gospels. I think my kids will really like doing this. I'm not sure how I will use it all for all 4 of them. I might just rip out a few pages and let them all go to town on that. Then we have the Answers book for teens, Your Questions, God's Answers. This past year we did the whole Answers series for younger kids. So this one is probably going to have more relevant content for middle school, high school aged questions. It definitely does. So if you've got youngers, you can skip over those questions, or you can do this just with your older kids, however you wanted to do it. But we are going to be reading that. And then we have this whole book, Evidence for the Bible, from Master Books by Clive Anderson and Brian Edwards. So this will go in our morning basket. All of these books will be in our morning basket. Now remember, not all at the same time, but rotated through. So that is everything that I've got for read alouds for my kids so far. Like I mentioned, this is not everything. This is just the base point where I'm starting. We do poetry tea time with our friends, so I naturally will get poetry books every month that we'll be adding on to. We have certain books in our homeschool that we read year after year. For example, our nature poems for every day, we will be doing that again. We have other times throughout the year where it'll be around the holidays and I'll go to the library and read aloud holiday books to my kids. But this is just the starting point of what I've got and where we're going, and I'm leaving space for any other chapter books or read alouds that strike our interest. So if you have a recommendation of a fun read aloud, like just a fun story, a fun book to read, not that these aren't fun, but you know what I'm saying, something like, I don't know, Stuart Little, My Father's Dragon, you know, those type of books. Leave it down below for me, especially if you have one that you think kids spanning, you know, grades would enjoy hearing together. Swiss Family Robinson, Treasure Island, like that kind of thing. Let me know if you've got a favorite down below. I'd love to hear from you guys. But I wanted to share my book choices, and I hope that you got some good ideas for your homeschool. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video really soon. Bye guys.